Okay, so you're now live, Russ.
Thanks.
Have a great class. Bye bye.
Oh, it says Nancy's supposed to be my host, my assistant. So Nancy's not here yet. Hi, Nancy. Just got the message you were the assistant.
Hi, Jess. How are you?
I'm very good. How are you?
I'm fine. Just make me co-host, please.
I will. So you'll be here for the duration.
Yeah, I'm here for the whole time.
One thing if you can watch out for, we've had the last couple evenings people not mute themselves. And so we've had background noise during videos. So just keep an eye out. You should be able to mute people. Maybe just hit
Okay.
mute all when we hit the start of the video. Hi, Julie. How are you? Welcome back. Were you weren't on last night, were you, Julie? You were on one of the other Rick Steves, though, if I seem to recall. You're muted. Oops, you muted yourself again by accident. There you go.
I was on the original Rick Steves
Okay.
introductory one. Yeah, yeah.
Very good. Welcome back.
Thanks.
Hi, Sawa. Welcome back. Hi, Susan. Hi, Lynn. Hi, Yuta. Oh, you've got a nice cat there, Julie.
Yeah. They always love to interrupt me when I'm on my computer here.
Well, I had a cat who did that too all the time, and he really annoyed me. He was big, and he knew exactly when I was needing to concentrate.
Yeah.
And he came in begging for food.
Exactly.
Hi, Donna. Hi, Nikki.
Hi, Russ.
Susan Anthony, is that a virtual background or is that a real? That looks like a real background.
Are you speaking to me? I'm sorry.
Yes, you got a nice background there with books.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, it's actually it's real.
It's real. Very
It's
good
real.
for you.
Sorry. I was putting in my headphones, so
That's okay. I've got one behind me that's books too, but I think it's got glass on the doors, and I think the
well,
sun would
actually,
be.
no, you're all blue. What I see.
I am blue. Because of the lighting tonight, I have to do a virtual background.
Well, I mean, I guess I could turn off the light over there.
No,
but
yours is fine. No, I'm admiring all the books. I've got bookcases all around me too.
Well, this is my faux library.
Good for you.
This is my work office, and I get to work in the basement, so I had to make it someplace that I wouldn't mind coming.
That's good. I'm very comfortable around books. I have lots of
Me
them.
too.
I can't stop buying them. I've given up.
Do you have the little free library?
We have a lot of those around.
I often go by and see them, and I'm like, okay, well, I won't. Okay, I just have to look and see, and I end up picking up things every time I pass them. So,
Well, I work as a writer, and that's part of my excuse for buying books, because I do truthfully use books as resources in my writing. So I've recently bought about 8 books on bicycling. So
oh, okay. Does
And
it
I
make you a
mean-
better cyclist?
what hopefully makes me a better writer.
I see.
They're books all about bicycling, including 2 books about bicycling and economics. One's called Bikeonomics, and the other one's called How Bicycling Can Save the Climate, or something like that. I can't see it. I think it's inside my desk over here to my right. But the book I'm enjoying reading the most is actually kind of a bike adventure about one of the first people to bike around the world. A man named Frank Lenz from Pittsburgh, an American. They were all curiously Americans. I don't know why. I don't know why it was Americans who decided to bike around the world. The first one to do it was an Englishman who was living in America, and then the next 3 were all Americans. And Frank Lenz was quite amazing. It took him years because it was a lot slower. He couldn't be. A lot of places he went through didn't actually have adequate roads for biking, and he walked. And he disappeared on his trip. He was about 2+ years into his trip, and he disappeared, and he apparently was killed in Turkey. This was 1894. So there was
That's kind of sad.
it was very sad, and he's quite an amazing person. So I'm very interested in people who take bike treks.
It sounds very interesting. And I would say that, oh, yes, I'm all for it. It's a little too much work.
Well, I do a class. I did it this morning, and I'll be doing it again in a few weeks about biking from Pittsburgh to Washington, D.C. on a Rails to Trails. And if you've ever been in Western Pennsylvania, you know that it is definitely not flat.
Correct.
But the Rails to Trails from Pittsburgh to Washington is flat because it follows an old railroad bed. So welcome, everyone. I see lots more familiar faces or names. Hi, Susan. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Beverly. We'll give it a couple more minutes before we start Rick this evening. We're doing some more European festivals and celebrations. These are new ones tonight in Germany, Austria, and Spain. I was trying to think if there was one other place like that he mentions, but he starts in Germany with, or at least he includes Germany in the Christkindlmarkt, the Christmas markets in Germany. And that is an ambition my wife and I have some days to go to a Christmas market in Germany.
I'm actually watching this evening, so I can have an idea of what to expect. We are scheduled to go to the Christmas markets in Germany in November.
Oh, wow. Good for
Of
you,
this year.
Susan. I'm envying you.
Well, not so much, not yet, because Germany hasn't opened up their borders.
That's true.
travelers,
That's
so-
true.
I'm hopeful that that will change by November. But
Is there a particular city you're going to, or not particular cities?
yes, 3 of them, and I don't remember.
That's okay.
I needed to have something to look forward to.
Good for you.
Just being inside, and I haven't cornered the market on that. I realized that, but I just needed to have something to look forward to. But now, well, I might not have that to look forward to.
Well, there's nothing like travel, though, to give you something to look forward to. And we know that someday we'll be able to go somewhere. I am thinking, considering doing a class on the current travel situation. There's more news now. Not everything definite, but it will probably, if it's done every week, that class will have to be updated every week, almost every day for news. I did see a list in the paper the other day of countries in the world that are accepting Americans traveling. So that list is getting longer. It's an unusual list. It's not the typical places Americans think of going necessarily. But one of them is Iceland. And we mentioned this last night. I'm feeling a bit sorry for Iceland because I think it's going to get overrun with Americans this summer wanting to go to Iceland. A lot of them want to go there anyway. And now it being a country that they can travel to might make it even more tempting. So it's a beautiful country. And I will have sometime during the summer, Scott Sleek. I don't know if any of you know Scott, one of our guides. Scott is going to do a presentation. He's going to talk about Iceland and show some of his photos about traveling to Iceland. So we'll get Scott on sometime here in June, probably. I'm going to go ahead and start here and hope that more people join us. I'm going to do a little screen share for a minute. We are welcoming Nancy, who's our TA with Get Set Up Support. So if any of you have questions or issues around anything technical tonight, reach out to Nancy. Also, if you have questions tonight or comments, I really welcome you to put them into the chat. I'm going to give you into the chat a contact email that you can get in touch with me at. I'll do it later toward the end. But right now I'm going to share a screen and we'll start here with a welcome. And you should see something on your screen that says Festivals Tuesday. We'll get that up into presentation mode. There we are, Festivals Tuesday. And it was a week ago, last Tuesday, that we had Rick Steves on. So we didn't do Festivals Tuesday last week. I'm Russ Eanes, your guide. I'm from Harrisonburg, Virginia. It's in the lovely Shenandoah Valley, and it was indeed a lovely day here today in the 70s, sunny, very windy. However, that's the one downside to it. We do get very windy days here on occasion. I'm a writer, a walker, and a cyclist. I formerly was a book publisher, and when I was a publisher, my favorite thing was to help authors shape their ideas into a book. And now I'm a full-time guide with Get Set Up, and I love the energy I get from working with all of you. I also get a lot of wisdom from all my learners. So I'm inviting people tonight, if you have experienced any things that we're watching, to please tell us about it. We've already heard that Susan is planning on going to the Christkindl Mart, and that's the very first thing I think we'll see in the video tonight. Get Set Up helps you learn useful skills from people like you so you can do wonderful things. We learn from each other. Ideally, we can see you and your cameras are on. You can request a recording after class of this. Email help@getsetup.io. And if anyone is joining by live stream, and we are live streaming tonight, the best way to participate is to join us and register for a class. And by the way, Get Set Up is not paid to promote any specific products. Rick Steves came to Get Set Up on April 13th, and now you can watch it live again. Not live, sorry. You can watch a recording again on Get Set Up. 6 p.m. tomorrow, you can watch Rick Steves again, and 9 p.m. Thursday and 6 p.m. Friday. So get your calendars out. If you missed the interview with Rick Steves that Lawrence did, it was great. Rick was awesome. You can check it. You can see it on Get Set Up TV. And if you know the Get Set Up page, there is a link to Get to TV there. You can watch it there. 6 p.m. Wednesday, 9 p.m. Thursday, 6 p.m. again on Friday.
That's Eastern time, right?
Thank you, Susan, for reminding me. Yes, those are all Eastern times. So adjust your clock accordingly if you are in one of the other time zones. So that's 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in California if you're on the West Coast. I had read an article, an interview with Rick Steves done a few months ago about how he was handling the pandemic, because his main business is tours and his second biggest business is writing guidebooks. And during the pandemic, both businesses took a huge hit. He had to return the deposits in cash from something like 30,000 people who were planning on going on tours with him last year. So no tours, and the sales of his guidebooks dropped 90%. He kept his staff on, however, and he said, "Our mission is to inspire Americans to adventure beyond Orlando. We owe it to our mission to still be around after this is done." He means the pandemic is done. "So America can be less fearful and open to the world with a mindset of building bridges instead of building walls." So that's why he kept his staff on, so they could get right back to business. He has mentioned the possibility of later this year that he might be able to do something. Just waiting and seeing. In a wait and see mode, as we're all in a wait and see mode. We're doing a whole lot of travel coming up and get set up. We're going to be continuing to talk in May about destinations, places we've been, places to go. Active travel by foot, pedal, or paddle. We'll be talking about practical travel tips to save money. And in fact, we've already done some of those. If any of you have seen the class on how to use online and mobile phone apps to plan your travel, we have done that class a couple of times. Should be again next week or the week after that. We're also going to talk a bit about alternative travel, like house sitting, house exchanges, workaway, road scholars. And of course, you can't talk about travel without having a lot of history, food, culture, and art. So we'll be continuing to do sessions where we talk about that. And in fact, tomorrow night is Cuisines of the Middle East. Come check that one out. That should be really good. Thursday is art in France. No, sorry, art in Spain this Thursday. That's right. And then Friday will be, I'm not sure. We're back to history. This week is History Friday France. That's right. This one is History of France, history in France, what you can discover through travel. A week from Friday, we'll be back again talking about the history of communism, doing a little more of a review of that. So keep an eye out for all those classes, and don't miss Rick Steves this time if you missed him before. Let's stop our share for 1 second here, and I will reshare so we can see video. And then we'll start up Rick Steves. Holiday festivals.
In Greece, we're in the city of Nafplio, Easter is celebrated as both the welcoming of spring and as a deeply religious festival with a distinctly Orthodox Christian flavor. By late Saturday night, on the eve before Easter, the people spill from their churches and fill the main square with a palpable sense of expectation. When midnight strikes, fireworks light up the sky, and finally, Easter Sunday is here. The Holy Flame, which literally travels from Jerusalem to Athens and then to towns throughout Greece, is shared along with the ritual Easter kiss of love. And it's not over yet. Everyone then heads home for the biggest party of the season. People carry the Easter flame home as a burning candle. Raising it above their heads, they make a cross above the doorway, symbolizing that the light of the resurrection has blessed their home for another year. A long table awaits as the extended family gathers. They have a competition to find out whose Easter egg will be the strongest. Sighs of disappointment from losers are mixed with the laughter of winners until the proud victor, who'll enjoy a particularly blessed upcoming year, is declared. It's a joyous family gathering. The feast continues into the wee hours of Easter Sunday with lots of meat and eggs and no shortage of Easter bread. and the feasting continues after a little sleep. By the afternoon, in villages all across Greece, families are grilling lamb, eating, singing, and dancing. It seems there's a spring lamb on a spit in every backyard. The roast takes hours, but no one's in a hurry. It's an all-day affair. People move between households, checking on each other's lambs and socializing. When the spit stops, the feast begins. Lamb off the bone, lamb off the fingers, beer, wine, music, more food, more family fun, more lamb. People party all day long. Eventually, the village ends up back at the church, dancing and singing. Together, they celebrate as they have every year for all their lives, celebrating the hope of renewal at yet another joyous Easter Sunday. Each Christmas, Nuremberg's main square becomes a festive swirl of the heartwarming sights, sounds, and smells of the holiday season. Long a center of toy making in Germany, a woody and traditional spirit that celebrates local artisans prevails. Nutcrackers are characters of authority, uniformed, strong-jawed, and able to crack the tough nuts. Smokers, with their fragrant incense wafting, feature common folk like this village toy maker. Prune people, with their fig body, walnut head, and prune limbs, are dolled up in Bavarian folk costumes. Bakeries crank out the old-fashioned gingerbread, the Lebkuchen Nürnberg, still using the original 17th century recipe. Back then, Nuremberg was the gingerbread capital of the world, and its love affair with gingerbread lives on. Shoppers can also munch the famous Nuremberg bratwurst, skinny as your little finger, and sip hot-spiced wine. Like Easter, Christmas is built upon a pagan pre-Christian festival, and we celebrate it today with plenty of pre-Christian rituals, often without even knowing it. In Salzburg, they shoot big guns to scare away evil spirits. In the Tyrol, fathers bless their house as their ancestors did. Families, friends, and food are integral to the French Noel. Winter brings a sense of magical wonder to Germany and Austria. Italy reveals the sacred nature of the season, from its countryside to its grandest church. Nature, in all its wintry glory, seems to shout out the joy of the season in Switzerland. And everywhere, Christmas is celebrated with family, as together Europe remembers the quiet night that holiest family came to be. The European Christmas season is long and festive. Rather than counting down the shopping days left, it's all about traditions and saints' days. For example, December 13 is big in Norway. It's Santa Lucia Day, one of the darkest days of winter and an important part of the Scandinavian Christmas season. All over Nordic Europe, little candle-bearing Santa Lucias are bringing light to the middle of winter and the promise of the return of summer. These processions are led by a young Lucia wearing a crown of lights. This home has housed widows and seniors for over 200 years, and today the kindergartners are bringing on the light in more ways than one. The children have baked the traditional Santa Lucia saffron buns, the same ones these seniors baked when they were kindergartners. Taking their cue from Santa Lucia, Norwegians, cozy in their homes, brighten their long, dark winters with lots of candles, white lights, you'll never see a colored one, and lots of greenery. And high in Switzerland, where the churches are small and the villages huddle below towering peaks, the mighty Alps seem to shout the glory of God. Up here, Christmas fills a wintry wonderland with good cheer. In these villages, traditions are strong. And warmth is a priority. Stoves are small, so firewood is too. My family has arrived for a Swiss Alps Christmas. They've joined me here in the tiny village of Gimmelwald. Our friends, Ollie and Maria, and their kids are giving my kids, Andy and Jackie, a good lesson in high-altitude Christmas fun. Ollie's taking us high above his village on a quest to find and cut the perfect Christmas tree.
What do you think? I like it a lot, Ollie.
Yeah, this is a good tree. I think we should cut it.
All right, wonderful.
Still high above Gimmelwald, we're stopping in a hut for a little fondue. Fondue seems perfect in winter if you've come in from the cold. For them, it sets the tone for a warm and convivial time. Combined with good friends and family during the Christmas season, we have all the ingredients for a delightful little alpine festival. Before we know it, the light outside begins to fade.
Here's to Happy Christmas. Yeah. Cheers.
As the sun sets, we've got our tree and enjoy a fairy tale ride home to Gimmelwald. In every part of Europe and in every season, in big cities and in remote farmsteads. From timeless traditions to modern celebrations, people embrace life through festivals. They celebrate what the season brings with great parties. They bargain with God and show their faith with festival rituals. They remember the accomplishments and lives of their forebears. They enjoy fun-loving opportunities to dress in traditional costumes and wave their national flags, all the while gorging themselves with great feasts and lubricating themselves with the local drink. And all of it may be just an excuse for the very human need to celebrate family, friends, and culture year after year. As if to continue this celebration of the return of spring, some places let loose in vibrant secular festivals. One of the most exuberant and colorful is in Spain, Sevilla's gigantic spring fair. Throughout southern Spain, a region so expert at fiestas and romance, cities like Sevilla greet each spring with a festival for all ages. A festival where the horses are nearly as dressed up as the people, a springtime flirtatiousness fills the air, and travelers are more than welcome to join in the fun. For 7 days each April, it seems much of Sevilla is packed into its vast fairgrounds. The fair feels friendly, spontaneous, very real. The Andalusian passion for horses, flamenco, and sherry is clear. Riders are ramrod straight. Colorfully clad señoritas ride side saddle. And everyone's drinking sherry spritzers. Women sport outlandish dresses that would look clownish all alone, but somehow brilliant here en masse. Hundreds of private party tents or casetas line the lanes. Each striped tent is the party zone of a particular family, club, or association. To get in, you need to know someone in the group or make friends quickly. My local friend, Concepcion, is well connected. And as a friend of a friend, we're in.
This is your caseta.
Because of the exclusivity, it has a real family affair feeling. Throughout Andalusia, at spring fairs like Sevilla's, it seems everyone knows everyone in what seems like 1,000 wedding parties being celebrated all at the same time.
Well, that was a lot of fun. Anybody here been to any of those festivals or something like it?
Well, my daughter lives in Vienna, Austria, so I've been to the Christmas markets there several times. It's a lot of fun.
That's great. As I was saying earlier, that's an ambition my wife and I have some year is to go to a Christmas mart in Germany.
It looks like fun and I can't wait.
Oh, yeah. The first place you go is the Glühwein booth, and then you go to other places.
Wait,
Right,
the
the Glühwein.
Glühwein?
Glühwein is the
Glühwein.
spiced wine. Glühwein.
Glühwein,
It's
glow wine.
G-L-U umlaut U-H-W-E-I-N. Glühwein.
Fine.
It's hot spiced wine and it puts a glow on you.
Well, I'll have my priorities in order. Thank you.
Anyone else been to any of those festivals or festivals like it that you want to talk about? Share with us about?
I've been to the Floriade in Holland in the spring a couple of times. It was wonderful.
What happens at that festival?
Oh, it's just it's the tulip time, in April, May.
Mhm.
And you just go around to actually there's I think every 10 years there's a special display, and we went to that. That was wonderful. Yeah. And one time in Bruges there was a flower parade. I'm assuming it was sometime spring or summer. It was beautiful.
Yeah, there's something about these festivals that are not only not just that they're festive, but that they're representing history, the
Yes.
and culture that's been gone back a long time.
Yes.
Sense of depth. And I see Joanne and Frank on as well, or I saw Frank for a second. Thumbs up.
Have you seen any videos of what they call Krampus in Bavaria, I think, but certainly in Alpine Austria? It takes place on December 6th, and he appears with Saint Nicholas, and he's a representation of the devil.
I don't know that one.
Well, you can find it's Krampus, and you can find videos of it. I have actually, we were at dinner one night in a restaurant and a fella came in dressed like that. And I mean, I don't understand how it doesn't scare the bejesus out of the little kids. But anyway, it's a lot of fun if you watch the videos, what they do.
Well, one
it's a
thing
Holland tradition.
Yes.
One thing I enjoyed tonight was watching them sledding in Switzerland. I really liked those sleds where they were up off the ground like a foot or more and sliding down. That looked like a lot of fun. I was wondering how they got down holding those little torches or candles or whatever it was they had lit. I would have worried about lighting myself off with it, but that looked like a lot of fun in the evening doing that. And the fondue looked really good. Fondue sometimes is thought of as a bit of old hat here, but boy, I know the Swiss like their cheese. So I can imagine all the cheeses that were in that fondue pot. Anybody else want to share about any festival experiences you've had? Doesn't have to be in Europe, could be anywhere in the world.
Holi in India, that was crazy.
Holi. I will say another thing I was enjoying tonight was when they were in Greece, where they started with the way they celebrated Easter. I didn't know that. That was fabulous with that all night, well, after midnight feast. Looked like a lot of fun, and then it continued on the next day with a lot of lamb. That looked good. I was really enjoying that. I was appreciating how the whole village turned out together and were dancing. That was great. Wonderful. Looked like a great experience to be part of.
Russ, could I ask Susan a question about the one that she mentioned in India?
About
Sure.
Holi? Holi? Mm-hmm.
What is it called again?
It's Holi, and I pronounce it Holly. I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but
Is that the one that they do in the spring with the colored powder? Where they
yes, yes.
Okay.
Covered head to toe with colored powder in your hair, and oh yeah, that's it.
A friend of mine who is Indian, she said that it's for the rite of spring, but I didn't know what it was called, so I'm going to ask her if that's what it was called. Yeah, I've seen it in different movies, where they do that, but I never knew what it was for. But she did say it was for the rite of spring. Yeah. Thank you, Susan.
Mm-hmm.
Any more comments or things you'd like to add, an experience you've had of a festival? Let me ask a different question. Is there anybody here tonight? This is your first Get Set Up class. I think I recognize. Oh, Susan, it's your first class. Very good. I'm glad you joined us. I was going to say I had recognized most of the rest of the names or faces as people that have joined us for. Well, welcome to Get Set Up, Susan. We hope to see you in a lot more classes. There's lots of free classes you can take. And in fact, tomorrow we have another travel class. Tomorrow will be Foods of the Middle East, more Rick Steves. I have some personal experience with foods of the Middle East, and I'll share about that. But they weren't foods I ate in the Middle East. They were foods I ate here because we have had students from Saudi Arabia live with us for about 5 or 6 years. And one of them was a very good cook. And he made some absolutely fabulous meals for us. And I'll try to find a photograph of one of the meals he made. There was a point where he was making a meal for us almost every week. He and I also went out to a farm where we slaughtered a lamb together. Definitely not everyone's cup of tea, but I really appreciate that experience, how he did it in a way that was particularly keeping with his Islamic faith, the way they did it. And then he and I brought it home and we butchered it together. So we had lamb in our freezer for about 6 months that we ate. And we made some really good meals with it. Tomorrow is Foods of the Middle East. So I'm imagining we're going to see something about lamb and perhaps something about falafel. I actually haven't had a chance to look at the video yet. And as I mentioned before, Susan will be doing 4 o'clock on Thursday is Art in Spain. So Picasso, lots of other famous painters. And then Friday is history in France. So we'll continue with Rick Steves. And as I mentioned before, if anyone missed the Rick Steves interview on Get Set Up, you can watch it tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Time Thursday. Thanks for reminding me to always mention the times I'm giving are in Eastern Time. Next week, we'll continue this series. We'll do more island hopping in Europe on Monday, more festivals on Tuesday, and we'll be doing more food on Wednesday. Thursday will be art, and Friday will be history. So we'll continue the same pattern with Rick Steves as we end and finish April next week. I'm also doing a class, if you're interested, Monday morning, 11 o'clock Eastern Time, a class I've done on slow travel, which is a lot of the concept that Rick Steves has. And I'll be doing the first of several presentations about a pilgrimage I took to Iona and Lindisfarne in England. That is Monday at 3:30. Any more comments or questions? We don't have to keep going if folks have anything else. You're also a good chance to raise any other questions or about anything about Get Set Up or about our travel series or about any of our classes. I always mention when I have my classes that you'll get an email at the end and you'll be asked to give feedback. So please give us feedback about how we can do better. Also give us feedback about any suggestions for classes. We're always looking for new classes to do. We have a great team here that can do all sorts of, we can create all sorts of classes, but we like the ideas that you bring to us. So I appreciate it if you put any suggestions on any kind of class in your feedback from tonight. Any more questions or comments from anyone? Well, it was great seeing you all. Susan, welcome to your first Get Set Up class. Hope to see you in other classes. Check out the schedule online. There you can go to the Get Set Up website and you can give you a list of classes. You can find classes by topic. You can find classes by the day. You can find what's coming up next. So I encourage you all to spend time there. Thanks again, everyone. We'll see you hopefully tomorrow tomorrow evening. This is Tuesday. So we'll see you tomorrow for Foods in the Middle East. Everyone have a good evening.
Thank you. You too.
Okay, you all
Thank
do.
you so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Russ.
Nice seeing everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.